Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's vlog. It's been a very challenging and busy week, but we made it through it. It's the weekend. It's hopefully a better weekend. As you see, I have less hair. We're in the summer dew. But we've been through a lot this week, including going in the background. As you see, my dad is on wagon train. He's just finishing up, should be finishing up in his final leg of the journey and be coming home today. But got to go see him last night. Got to spend some time with him. But nonetheless, we're here today, and I've been finding a topic to talk about, and I believe I did talk about this back in December, I believe around Christmas. But I combined it with other things. I combined it with looping and the getting into the trap of negative thoughts, and it kind of runs kind of in with the negative thoughts. But what we're talking about today is the second half of what I did in that video, and I'll tag it up there back in December of 2022, and that is radical acceptance. I know that I've heard about it from other bloggers, other advocates, but I guess I know what radical acceptance is, and I've always been told what radical acceptance is. And I didn't even watch that video from back in December 2022, but I kind of didn't have the full-fledged on understanding of it yet. And I was still angry and still upset with the way things were, but I didn't fully accept them for what they were, or didn't understand it. It's just the way of life that it has to be. But sometimes in life, you just get thrown a set of circumstances, or you get thrown into a battle where your true self comes out, or the self that you don't want others to see comes out. And when it does, it makes you people can react on you and make you see, how horrible you can be, or how things can be. But maybe you need to work on some things, or maybe you just need to understand this is where I need to be right now, and understand that life is worth living and not giving up. Because a lot of times, if you asked me this time last year, I'd have been very doubtful of my life. I'd have been very depressed. I would have been very upset, and I would have been looping and been in a trap of negativity. And sometimes I still am in a trap of negativity. I won't lie to you about that. But I'm choosing now, a year later, to be more positive about life. And I'm not saying wholeheartedly toxic positivity, or just being overly positive and not thinking there's challenges that are faced. We just call them challenges. We don't call them negative. We don't get down and beat ourselves up about moments that we don't want to do, or challenges that we don't want to do, or battles that we have to fight. We have to fight battles in life. There's nothing we can do about it. There's struggles and challenges that we face every day in our lives. You know, if you want to have the life that you want, you have to sometimes take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and fight and pull and get what you need, or even just fight and get through the motions every week. And I think that's where I struggle a lot of the time, as an autistic person, is, there is a routine in life, and, you just have to go with it. And it can be hard sometimes to get up in the morning, or it can be hard sometimes to do what you need to do. But, being told that you're doing a good job, or being told that you're valued, is a great thing sometimes. And I think when I see that, and I know that I'm being valued, or I'm told I do such a great job at getting out the door, and that I'm independent, that speaks volumes of the effort that I'm putting forth to be able to do things, and not be uncognizant of the need to take care of myself, mentally, physically, what have you. It is, the sense that I know I have to keep doing what I have to do in this present moment, whether I like it or not, and I have to accept it for what it is. It's not my number one favorite thing to do. It's not my 100% top thing that I want to do. It's not where I want to be, but it's enjoyable, and it pays the bills, and it does all the things it needs to do, and it is manageable, and it is accommodating. So sometimes you have to find the good in the situation, and find that things work out for you. And even if what you find makes you happy. You have to find what makes you happy. I've always said that. Always said that you have to find things that make you happy in life. And I've always been told that throughout years of therapy or years of services, you have to find things that make you happy, things you enjoy, or it's just going to be bland and dull. You're not going to be happy. And I think that was where I was. I was getting in this rut of just finding things that were wrong with my life, or finding challenges, or just wanting to run away, or the anxiety would climb through the roof and be fearful of, the changes or the challenges that we would face. For example, next week, we don't know what the future is going to be about the debt ceiling here in the States, but we can't do nothing about it right here. I personally can't do nothing about it here in the States. So I just have to wait and see how it's going to go, and we have to act when it's time. More than likely, the crisis will be averted on the last hour. It happened before, I do recall, about 10 or 12 years ago, and we'll get through it. That's all we can do. You can't worry about the small stuff, and that's sometimes hard. Sometimes it's hard to get through every day, and sometimes it's hard to get through every hour. Anxiety for me and many autistic people play a big role in that. It's a challenge. When you're fighting anxiety, you're always fighting your demon, inner demon, and trying to figure out, fight those words that tell you what you can't do, but you have to reframe them and tell them in things you can do. There are many things in life that I wouldn't even think I'd be doing now. And I always say the sky's the limit, but you have to see what's tangible and reachable too. And, sometimes it means you have to set yourself back. Or, even if you're in your comfort zone, you have to know where you can extend yourself outside of your comfort zone to where you feel comfortable. But you can't give up. I think that's one of the best life lessons I have to learn for myself is that I cannot give up no matter what. I cannot stop doing what I have to do in life. I cannot stop doing and just rest and quit. And I don't even know what that life was. And even for the longest time, until the last few weeks, I really was in this mode about wanting to quit and run away from my problems or run away from my routine because it made me feel uncomfortable or not the way that I wanted to go. Well, nothing goes the way we want it to go. Nothing goes the way we want planned. I'm thankful that I have environments that are accepting and accommodating of my challenges and that I feel safe and wanted and loved and cared for. But I think sometimes you have to realize that not everything's going to go as you want planned or have as you want to happen, and you're going to have challenges that you're going to face in your life. But you can't be throwing a pity party and saying, "Woe is me," and I should have had this and I should have had that in life. And yeah, life's hard sometimes. I will be the first to tell you, life is hard. If you asked me where I was this time 3 years ago, you wouldn't believe it. And I think there was a lot of unknowns in the world, and I was having things on top of those unknowns that and I was not taking care of myself mentally. And finally, it's been 3 years, and that was the darkest moment. And we're 3 years, and we're finally turning a corner for the good. And it's actually a point where I actually can feel at ease and healthy and wanted, and feel that I can inspire others too along the trek. And that means, sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do, like communicating with others or, doing the things that you need to do to thrive and live, and the things that make you do things like to keep your independence and be proud of the things you have. Like if you buy clothes or if you buy items and you don't take care of them. But I realize now that I buy those things with my money, and so do many other people. And therefore, I need to a responsible adult and take care of them and have pride in the things, and have pride in my living space. I think it's the reason to live. And I think, sometimes it's hard to see that you need to be proud of yourself for how far you've came. And I think I had a hard time seeing that the last few weeks until recently, and knowing that people will look up to me and value me for who I am. And it's not the throw a proud party for myself, but it's the sense of knowing that there are people out there, no matter who you are, that are looking up to you. And yeah, things aren't always the most perfect way that you want to be right now. It can be hard to accept reality sometimes and understand that your challenges may set you back a bit or may put you down a little bit, but you can't stop fighting. It's easy to give in, but quitting is not good, is never the option. Um, Not to be too preachy, but that we had a church sermon last week called "No Quit," and it was always it was like it was based off of Rocky, but it really, set well with me because you didn't give up, you didn't do things. It talked a bit about quiet quitting and what that's like. And I even thought about quiet quitting for a moment. But you know what? I know that's not the answer. I know that's not what I need to do. It would be taking 3 steps back and showing how much I didn't give up. Um, even as we're in mental health month here and we're talking about the challenges that I face, sometimes why do I keep going? And, sometimes I have to look at myself. Well, I have to keep doing this, and this. Like I keep having to take my medicine, having to make sure I'm eating well, making sure that I'm cleaning up after myself and my environment. Because, the alternative looks a whole lot worse. I know for a fact if I had not gotten my home and not in 2020 or not had kept things going to keep myself well, I would be in a very desperate situation 3 years ago. And I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity that I have and to continue having it. But sometimes you have to have that reality check and say, hey, this is what it is, but you have to do your part too to keep it going. And that's hard sometimes. Sometimes you want to do what you want to do. And sometimes you want to be the FU of, to those who want to tell you what to do or want to tell you how to do it. And yeah, sometimes you can make your own independent decisions, but you have to make them calculated and well. And especially for people who have challenges, that can be a hard thing to do, to weigh a person's value over what calculated decision you're going to make. But you have to do what makes you feel happy. You have to do what makes you feel right. And sometimes we even have to do things that we may not even want to do or may find challenging, like going to see a wagon train or having to go deal with weather or outside weather or having to do things that are just plain we find plain boring. But or maybe we have challenges when we do things, or maybe something sets us back. We have to keep on keeping on, because if we don't, it's sad. We don't want to see nobody gone in this world. And I have to tell people, you matter, you are enough, and you are loved. I tell a lot of people that because I feel that, it's not often said enough, and people feel down on themselves so much. And there's so many challenges that people face in life, many, many challenges that people face. And even I face challenges from time to time, but I never give up. One example is that is my cell phone broke Monday morning, and it was not the ideal time for the cell phone to break, but luckily I did not have to work. I did not have to leave the house until later, and I had a morning engagement, and I went through with that engagement, and then I went to, the cell phone store. And if you read my Facebook post earlier this week, you may have read where I was very brave and very just sat there and just did what they said and went through the prompts, and I got a phone eventually, but it was advocating and getting through that and realizing, that I wouldn't have a phone for at least 4 to 6 hours and until I got to go to the store and buy one. And once it was done, it was like nothing ever happened. It was like, you got through that challenge okay. You could say a million things about having to forego your phone or having to spend, a couple $100 to fix your phone. But, sometimes you have to realize, is it really worth all that? And, feeling down on yourself or feeling sad about yourself, there's so much in life that is you need to find the good in life. You need to find the happiness. And I think that's what I'm doing. I'm finding that things are all in all, things are really good. And I am truly blessed. And that I need to see the blessings and have an attitude of gratitude in life, and be thankful for the things I have and the opportunities that I have. By doing that, you will find that in fact you will have a better outcome in life, and keep the happiness up and keep that frown upside down, because it is worth it. You are worth it. You are valued. You are enough. You matter, and you are loved. You don't ever forget those things, because you do matter. You do. And I think everybody matters in this world, even though may not see it, or somebody may not recognize it, but you do matter, and you are valued, and you are loved, and you matter, and you are enough, because you do. And I always tell everybody that, because I think it's important. Sometimes it's important to be kind to each other too. It's never anybody else's fault for feeling the way that you feel, to feel the way that like what life has bestowed upon you. It's never anybody else's fault for that. And sometimes we react negatively towards others, and then others feel a certain way about us. But we have to make things right sometimes, even though it can be challenging to do so. And even if we can't, that's okay too. But we got to recognize our faults and our flaws, and we got to accept things for what they are. And even if that means making them right or improving ourselves, just as I had to do, then you have to do it. It's just something, you have to do. Why would you want to be miserable every day if you had to be miserable? Why wouldn't you just rather be happy and accept things for what they are? It can be challenging to accept things for what they are, especially if you have a lot of challenges. But you have to keep going, because the life is worth it. There will be an outcome that is better in the future, and you need to keep reminding yourselves of that, and being sure that things right now are not as bad as they seem. No matter what you think, life is always worse somewhere else in this planet. You need to be thankful for what you have. You need to be proud for what you have. You need to take care of what you have in life, and accept things for what they are, regardless of what you don't think you can. You need to accept things for what they are, and just be happy that you have them, and be proud of yourself for all the challenges that you have fought during your life, no matter what challenges you have fought. So I know that was a little pep talk today, but I wanted to share those things because I've really had an epiphany of, things getting better for me. Really recognizing the signs, the warning signs, the trigger signs, and knowing to take care of myself, even when the challenges present us. It's always important to take care of our mental health. Never forget that there is no health without mental health. Always important. If it costs your health, it's too expensive. Always remember that. So, well, I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna get started with my day. Gonna let this video upload. It'll go up to my channel here shortly. But trying to have a good weekend. I know I ran a little over the weekend, but it was late in the weekend. But we of course had festivities going on over the weekend, so I did want to get this video done. And I appreciate my new subscribers. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Be sure to like my videos, and if you haven't already, tap that notification bell for more content. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest at Dustin's Dynasty, on the web at DustinsDynastyUSA.com. I also have a link tree, and that handle is Dustin's Dynasty. I want to thank you again for listening. Be sure to have a good weekend. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other and yourself. Take care of yourself again. And remember, you are loved. You are enough. You matter. You are worthy, and you are valued, and you are enough. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now. We'll see you soon.